A lot goes into creative media production. This video is a rundown of everything that goes into the production process, from the research process and design skills, starting with the 5 stages of media production. When starting a new media project, you go through 5 processes: discovery, pre-production, production, post-production, and distribution. Discovery is the process of gathering information in relation to your project. It involves research, which will be discussed in further detail later on, generating ideas about your project, which can be in the form of notes, mind maps, and more. The discovery process also involves concept design, meetings with your team who are working alongside you on this project, treatment writing, which is writing the ideas of the plot in the form of a narrative, and finally, proposal presentations, which is presenting your idea to a room full of people, possibly directors or people who want to invest into your project. These steps are all in place so you're prepared for the next step. The next step is pre-production. This is the stage of making scripts for your cast, shooting scripts so there is a plan for each shot, camera angle and camera movement for each scene. Production documentation, which is often in the form of storyboards, so there's an idea for what each shot looks like. Pre-production also includes production plans, castings to find a good cast and crew, getting hold of props and costumes, location recon so you have suitable and safe places to film, permissions, risk assessments and contingency, which means having a backup plan for everything that could possibly go wrong, such as bad weather, equipment breaking and more. After the pre-production stage, you can begin the production process. This is the process of actually creating content. This could be in the form of filming, photography, sound recording, writing and interviewing. While it sounds simple, a lot goes into the production process alone, such as lighting, camera shots and angles, sound and more. Each tiny detail is very important to how the final product turns out, which is why the pre-production stage is vital. The post-production stage is the process of cleaning up and perfecting the content you've made. You can use editing software like Adobe Premiere to put your work in the right order so it flows well. While doing this, you shouldn't have too much dead air, which means clips where nothing is happening. Building a soundtrack involves creating a subtle ambience, dialogue used from clips or ADR, automated dialogue replacement, sound effects and music, which should only be used if necessary. Photoshopping can also be added using the Photoshop program, and special effects can be achieved with After Effects. Adding simple yet professional titles are also added sometimes in post-production. Distribution is the final stage of this process. This is where you've finished creating your film and you should begin to get your work out into the world. You can do this with screening, reviewing, printing, presenting, exhibiting and selling your work to investors. This will help get your film seen by hundreds or thousands of people. As I said earlier, it's time to discuss the research process. So research is collecting and analysing useful data and information about a certain topic. The data collection stage can be done with primary or secondary data collection. Primary data collection is when you find the information about your chosen topic yourself. Methods of doing this can be interviews, questionnaires, focus groups, and observations. Secondary data collection is information that has already been collected by somebody else that you're using. You can find this information by using the internet websites like Google Scholar, Wikipedia, and more. Public libraries and educational institutions are also useful for secondary data collection. Data analysis step involves asking yourself these questions. What did you do? What will you find? And what will you do now? This stage is so you can go over the information you've collected and fully understand it. This understanding will then lead to knowledge on your chosen topic. Another type of data collection is quantitative and qualitative data collection. Quantitative data collection is usually more focused on numbers and statistics. It's not usually very informative but can give you an overall idea on a topic, whereas qualitative data collection is normally more informative and gives you more information specific to your chosen. While conducting audience research, you should look into consumer behaviour. Consumer behaviour consists of audience awareness, audience behaviour and audience responses. You should also look into demographics such as age, race, gender and sexuality, geographics, which is where they are in the world, psychographics, the study of people according to their personality, socio-economic status. Production research can include things such as location reconnaissance, health and safety risk assessments, legal and ethical matters, finance and costs, and equipment resources. Graphic design is the art or profession of visual communication that combines images and words to convey ideas and information to an audience to produce a desired effect. Everything on the page is important to what the final product will look like. Elements are the parts that make up the design. These could be lines, shapes, directions, size, texture, and colour. Whilst undertaking graphic design products, you must consider the following things. Principles, what you do with the elements. Some principles are contrast, the elements put together to highlight their difference. Repetition, repeating elements throughout the design. It creates a pattern and makes it look more organised. Alignment, elements lined up so the design looks more neat. Proximity, items relating to each other should be grouped close together. Balance, the visual distribution and organisation of elements across the design. Space, the distance and area between each element. Your design must have a balance of negative and positive space. Negative space is sections on the page which are empty, and as you can probably guess, positive space is sections on the page which are filled with things. Simplicity, cut unnecessary elements out of your design. Rhythm, the repetition of elements that create movement. Harmony, you should make sure each element belongs in your design and that it complements it. Unity means creating a sense of completeness. Proportion, the relationship of the elements to each other that form the whole. And variety, combining a mixture of elements to make your design interesting. Some tools and programs you can use are Photoshop to alter and edit the photographs, InDesign to make digital art such as graphic design pieces and infographics, After Effects to do things like make animations, add special effects into videos and use presets, and finally Adobe Premiere. This can be used to create a video sequence, add or remove clips from a timeline, or add text and transitions to videos.